Hi land stewards, I'm Isabel, and today I'm here in eastern Wisconsin to teach you about some common invasive species that can be found across the Midwest. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a non-native species known as bush honeysuckle. I'm going to go over a few key features to help you identify it and then discuss some methods for control. Bush honeysuckle is an invasive species that is native to Asia and parts of southern Russia. While there are multiple species of honeysuckle that can be found across the Midwest, the bush honeysuckle is the most prevalent and invasive today. Bush honeysuckle can be found in a wide range of locations. It particularly likes disturbed areas, so it can commonly be found in places where a clear cutting has occurred, maybe a roadside ditch or even a fallow field. It can really adapt to any type of location, so you could find it in an upland, a lowland, or even somewhere like here on a river shore. Some key visual markers of honeysuckle is its bush-like structure and opposite branching. So you can see here on this specimen that the branches come out opposite from one another and that it's pretty dense and low to the ground. At its full size, honeysuckle can reach 12 feet tall and 12 feet wide. It tends to grow in a dense monoculture thicket. Some key visual markers that can help you identify honeysuckle in the wild is its growth pattern. A large, mature honeysuckle tends to grow over and arching in one direction, and all the branches will lean in the same way. Honeysuckle has an opposite orientation, meaning its branches always come out one opposite of the other. Same with the leaf structure. In the spring, honeysuckle is going to be one of the first deciduous plants that leaves out. They're generally a lighter green than other leaves you're going to see in the forest, and they are opposite from one another. The leaves are smooth and don't have any serration on the edges. Another key feature that can help you identify honeysuckle in the spring would be its flowers. Its flowers grow from the base of the leaf and they come in pairs. On this plant, the flowers have not yet emerged, but you can see them forming and they're about to bloom. On bush honeysuckle, the flower color can range anywhere from a light pinkish red to white. They have 4 petals that go upwards in one direction and then one larger petal that will go in the opposite way of the first 4 petals. Honeysuckle flowers are known for their sweet scent. Honeysuckle bark is also a key feature that you can help to use identify it. The bark of honeysuckle tends to look pretty dried out. The new growth will have light lenticels, and the older growth will have long ridges that go vertically down the stem of the plant. A really mature honeysuckle can even appear shaggy at the base. A key feature that could help you identify honeysuckle in the fall is going to be its bright orange or red berry. This forms right where the flower used to be, and they tend to dangle in pairs. The berries are small, about 1 centimeter each, and they each contain multiple seeds that can be dispersed by birds. Honeysuckle is able to dominate other plants very easily because it's an extremely rapid growing plant. It also leaves out very early in the spring, so it shades out any plants that might have been trying to grow beneath it, and it's very aggressive, so it pushes away any other shrubbery that could be growing in the vicinity. Honeysuckle will hang on to its berries almost all winter long, providing a food source to birds, and then they readily disperse them all throughout the area. Honeysuckle can push out native shrubs like viburnum or dogwood. Their berries are also mildly toxic to mammals, so they're not a great food source for small rodents and deer. Though the birds do eat them, they're also not very nutritional for the birds, and the plant itself does not provide a great roost for native birds, where they prefer other denser bushes like dogwood. Honeysuckle can be managed in multiple ways. You could mechanically control it by hand pulling the small seedlings. A plant this size, where the stem is about 1 inch at the base, you're probably going to want to treat with chemical because it'll be hard to hand pull, and you would likely have to dig up the root ball with a shovel. Some chemical forms of control could either be cutting the plant and then applying herbicide on the stump, or spraying the foliage later in the fall. The time of the year that you're going to perform your control methods depends on if you're doing a mechanical control or a chemical control. If you're doing mechanical, you probably want to do it early in the spring while the young sapling roots are undeveloped. Also at that point, the berries won't have emerged, so you're not risking dropping the fruit. No matter which chemical method you choose, it's best to apply that in the fall time because that's when the plant is pulling down all of its nutrient reserve into the root ball. So when you apply the herbicide, it will be distributed throughout the entire root system and kill the plant. While managing honeysuckle, it's important to take care not to spread it further. You can do this by collecting any parts of the plant that you cut or remove. So if you're digging up the plant or hand pulling, you're going to want to make sure you get the entire root system into a black plastic bag. Also, if there's berries present on the plant, you want to cut those stems and remove them as well. If the berries fall on the ground, it might be a good idea to rake them up and bag them as well. After performing control methods, it's always important to monitor the area for resprout. If you've removed honeysuckle from the area, then it might be a good idea to try to reestablish some native species so that the honeysuckle has a harder time getting established again. The first method of control I'm going to discuss is hand pulling. Some tools you might need to help you hand pull could be a trowel or a shovel to help remove the full root ball. The hand pulling method works best on young and dispersed honeysuckle. You're not going to want to do it if there's a big, thick stand. The best time of the year to hand pull would be in the spring when the young roots are undeveloped and the soil is a little bit more moist, so it's easy to remove the entire root system. The next three methods I'm going to discuss are all chemical forms of control. The first chemical method of control I'm going to discuss is the cut stump treatment method. This method is best used if you want to remove the entire honeysuckle bush from view completely. To do this, you want to get as close to the ground as possible when you're cutting. Some tools you might need for the cut stump method would be loppers or a hand saw, and then a 20% glyphosate mixture that you're going to dab onto the stump. You can purchase an herbicide applicator with a no-drip sponge online. Remember when cutting the stump to get as level with the ground as possible to avoid creating a tripping hazard, and then immediately apply the herbicide after you cut the stump. You want to do this because honeysuckle in particular starts pulling its nutrients down into the root very quickly, and you only have about 5 to 10 minute time frame to get the herbicide application onto the stump for it to work correctly. The next method of chemical control I'm going to discuss is the basil bark treatment method. Some tools you'll need when using the basil bark treatment method will be a backpack sprayer with a 20% glyphosate mixture. The basil bark treatment method is best used on more mature plants or in thicker stands where you don't want to be cutting the plants down. To perform the basil bark treatment method, you'll want to spray the lower 12 to 18 inches of the honeysuckle trunk. Make sure you get all trunks and all the way around each one. The last chemical control method I'm going to discuss is foliar spraying. Some tools you'll need for foliar spraying is a backpack herbicide sprayer and a 2 to 5% glyphosate mixture. When foliar spraying, you're going to want to make sure you're coating the entire leaf of the plant. This is because the nutrients get pulled from the leaf down the stem and into the root system. So when the herbicide's applied to the leaf, it'll kill the entire plant. All chemical forms of control should be done in the fall. Whenever you're using any chemical as herbicide, you always want to remember to read the label and follow any guidelines, as the guidelines on the label are the law and you must follow them. Please remember, no matter which form of control you're implementing, you should always be wearing proper personal protection equipment, or PPE. Proper PPE should always consist of closed-toed shoes, preferably boots, pants that go down past your ankles, long sleeves, proper gloves depending on the method of control you're implementing. Also consider wearing eye protection and a hat to protect and shield your face. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, you can take action today to stop the spread of invasive species.